On June 7th, Richmond Rodriguez was in a car accident when returning home from an overnight campout with several Eastmont High School seniors on the morning of graduation. He was ejected from the bed of a truck, causing life-threatening injuries. This is the story of one family's fight for survival with an entire community of support, beginning with reuniting Richmond and the first responder who helped save his life.
Talk about punctual.
How are you?
Come on in. Oh.
Hi, Richmond.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
How are you? What's up? We're good.
It's not like...
Do you know who he is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
We've been talking about him.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, no doubt.
Terry, come on in. He's got a lot of questions. Not a lot of questions for you, but he's been eager to meet you, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm excited, too. It's just, yeah, when did I see him? On Monday? Not even a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think you didn't know I was here, but
Yeah,
I wanted to see you as soon as I could, and yeah, you're looking really good.
Thank you.
I've been watching all the videos with you up walking around. It's amazing. I didn't think the outcome was going to be as good as it is, so
Yeah, I'm surprised.
it's neat to follow you through this whole thing. And
We always discuss, even before the accident, is first responders and how you get no credit, really. A lot of the times you guys are there and you're out, and then when they come to the hospital, people, you know, come to the hospital to see them, but they never stop and think about the people who were there who saved Richmond's life. And I remember the first day you came into the hospital, and when we were in there, I was speechless. I had no idea what to say,
yeah,
you know, other than thank you.
So, but yeah, definitely, like, thank you so much, because I could have probably died or something, you know, I'm sure. So yeah, thank you so much.
I think it's just, you know, it's an honor for me just to be able to sit here and talk to you and see you up on your own. And you have a great family. Been following you and your sister, and you're blessed.
Thank you.
Very blessed.
Yeah, I definitely feel blessed.
And we're honored to have you around too.
Definitely.
Well, he was really low level initially, and they were looking at other facilities that were more specific for his type of injury. And I went and I saw him, and I saw this kind of glimmer of progress that was a little surprising. Like, he's gonna come out of this pretty quick. So I felt really confident that us keeping him local would be the best thing for his recovery. And our team is more than capable of handling this type of an injury, so that was really encouraging. So once we got him over here, just every day made amazing progress, to the point now he's going to go home probably a week sooner than we anticipated. One thing that I used to describe Richmond from the first time I saw him is he's just such a sweet kid. You know, just like his demeanor is so kind, and he's really caring about the people around him, not just his family, but the staff and the nurses and those people taking care of him. So seeing that was really a treat.
You guys might miss him around here.
Absolutely.
You're always glad to send them home.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll hear from Richmond and his parents about the morning of the accident and the phone call every parent dreads receiving.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
On the morning of June 7th, Lisa Rodriguez, Richmond's mother, had a gut feeling that something wasn't quite right. I talked with Richmond and his parents about the phone call that instantly changed their lives.
We knew that he had a rehearsal for graduation at 9, So I texted and tried to call, and there was no answer, and I was thinking that he was out of range or his phone was dead. And then somebody posted that there was an accident at the Clockham, and I knew that's where they were going to be. And then as people started replying to the post.
But you're thinking the whole time, you're thinking,
It's not my
not my
son,
kid.
Not my kid.
Not letting yourself go there, you'd said.
Not my kid. And then somebody posted a picture of a pickup truck, and I looked at it, did not recognize it, still not my kid. Then there was a picture of somebody laying in an orchard with some EMTs, safety people around him, but you couldn't see the face. Still not my kid. We tried to call. Alisa was asking, have you got a hold of Richmond? No.
And you're kind of not concerned yet because you haven't seen all of this. It was my understanding you didn't share it with her yet?
Yeah, I wasn't sharing it with her because I didn't want her to freak out. Anyway, so when I saw the picture, I saw the person's hand on their stomach, and as a parent, I knew that it was his hand, but I still didn't want to believe it because I was waiting for a phone call. And then as I zoomed in again, I saw this little wristband thing that he had on that he uses for his hair, and then I knew that it was him.
I just felt, as soon as they said there was an accident, I thought something was happening. So I tried to go about the morning, getting ready. My mother was here visiting for graduation.
You're getting ready for graduation.
We're getting ready, and I remember coming out of the shower and I see the hospital's called, and I'm thinking, why is the hospital calling first? That's you. So I go to get it, I didn't get the phone in time, then there's no message. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, then the school starts to call.
So that's the call no parent ever wants ever.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing, as far as a parent, you're always going to tell yourself, that's not my kid. My kid, it's not going to happen to my family. And it does. And that was the lesson that was learned, that we tried to teach the students when they came in to see.
It's part of why you wanted them to see him.
Exactly. The learning lesson, I guess, was we wanted them to come in, see him, and real quickly, like I told them all, this is life. You're graduating from high school now. This is life. This is not a video game. I said, make sure you get this picture burned into your mind, because accidents happen, and this could have been anybody. And then before they all left, I said, once you leave the house and you close the door, you're bulletproof. You're 18 and bulletproof. But your parents are sitting at home. As soon as the door closes, where are you? Why aren't you answering why aren't you answering my phone calls or my texts? Because this is exactly what goes through our mind.
From the minute you're not in our, like, if you're not looking at us, then we need, and that's hard to let go of. It doesn't matter if you're 18 and you have an older daughter, right? So it's part of being a parent.
Yeah, so we hope that by opening up our lives through Facebook and Richmond's struggle to stay alive and to work through this, that they will learn. You really do have to be careful. It's not fun and games. This is life, and it'll be life for the rest of his life.
One thing that I just wanted to say to all of you, and I guess you specifically because you're the one who is doing the sharing, social media is a beast. We know this, but it's also this really great place for exactly what you used it for. And I just wanted to commend you and say how much I respect the way you handled it, because we all see it. We scroll through and we see something we don't want to see, and we also sometimes wonder. And I'm not judging how much a person shares, because I probably share more than most people would, and somebody else would think you could share more, whatever it is. But the first picture I remember seeing of you, and I noticed that I hadn't seen a picture of you that stood out to me. And you're a grown man, and it's your story. You get to decide if people see your face before you were ready for them to see your face and see your condition. And so the first picture I remember seeing and I don't know if it's the first one you posted, but it was when Mr. Noel came to give him his diploma. And just seeing enough of you, but also seeing that interaction, I just thought that was the most respectable, tasteful, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on Facebook.
Definitely. And when I took the pictures originally to begin with, I hadn't really planned on it, but I knew I didn't want to show his face. People know who he is, but he wasn't awake to give me the okay.
Right.
Yeah, I want you. You can show my face.
Right.
So I was trying to capture him because I knew people were interested in him, not in what I was writing, but they were interested in him. So
oh yes, we were.
To show,
we were interested in what you're writing.
But to show him was what was important to me without showing his face. And the moment you're talking about with his principal, Mr. Noel, I mentioned it before that even with us, family and everything, as he was waking up, he would just lay there and talk to us. But Mr. Noel, when he came in, he walked up to him and he said, "Hey buddy, it's Mr. Noel." And Richmond almost sat up. He reached up his arm. He didn't do that to us. He reached up his arm, tried to hug him, and as soon as he leaned in and covered his head, I thought, oh, there's the picture. I could take the picture without showing Richmond's face. And then eventually, when I did show his face, I had asked him if it was okay, and he said, yeah, now that I look good. So everything that I've posted, basically, he's given me the consent because it's
and nobody doubts that.
Yeah. I want to make sure that he's okay with it. Even the interview, this interview, I'd asked him. I said, "Are you okay? You're not going to be embarrassed. They're going to see your face." So yeah, it's all him.
I wanted you to be able to look back at this and have this time with your family and thank the community and see yourself as you are now, because you can't always hold on to every single thought you had now later.
Definitely.
You know, life keeps moving.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you for that also. Like, it's definitely going to be something I will definitely look back on, no doubt. No doubt.
You have a really amazing opportunity now to take this and learn from it, not just now, but a year from now, 5 years from now.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, definitely. First of all, plan on being obviously just more like not just cautious, but just like aware of what's going on, what I'm doing, and also just I'm definitely never gonna forget this experience, So I'm gonna definitely tell other people, share it just so that they are also aware, just like I am now. I wish I had been aware beforehand, but it's okay, like things happen,
What have you learned from this that stands out to you the most?
I guess what I've learned is there's no place like home. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. It's been a while since I've been home, and it's just also just like having the comfort of having your parents always around you, things like that. Definitely has been hard to learn. Definitely.
You have all different responsibilities now because the nurses have been taking care of this area, and you're going to learn how to do that. And so you'll get through that just like you've gotten.
Definitely. God willing, we definitely will get through it. No doubt.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Both Ernie and Lisa encourage visitors at the hospital, especially Richmond's friends. As senior class president, Richmond held a 3.9 GPA, and the hearts of his classmates, teachers, and administrators of Eastmont High School.
I guess what I was mostly worried about was just like, first of all, would all my friends still accept me because I have this big halo on, and then also just would they be there to help me when I needed you, would they be as understanding as I hope they would which I mean, so far everybody's been very, very great, very nice. So thankfully.
And they've been here long before you even knew they were here.
Yeah, exactly.
When you weren't even awake.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. That's a good point. Yeah, definitely.
So, Will and Noah, you're good friends with Richmond, a couple of his best friends. Thanks for being here and talking with us. Talk about when you found out about the accident. We'll talk to you first, Will.
Okay.
And, you know, you've probably been pretty fortunate that you haven't been through something like this with a friend yet.
Yeah, no, it was definitely really weird. Well, one of my other friends texted me telling me, like, hey, like, Richmond, you know, got in a wreck. And at first I was like, oh, like, he got in a wreck, no big deal. You know? So, yeah, exactly. So I texted him, and I was like, hey, how are you doing, you know? And then I didn't get a text for a while, and then my phone started blowing up, just tons of people explaining basically, like, everything that happened, you know, or what they thought had happened, you know? So then I started freaking out a little bit. Then I left work early to go see what was really going on, and that was kind of stressful.
Your parents were very adamant about letting your friends see you before you were out of a coma.
Yeah, definitely.
So those couple of weeks when you weren't coherent at all.
Yeah.
What was that like? Were you reluctant? Were you scared?
The first time was definitely the hardest, but then it got way, way easier every single time because I saw the progress and like I knew he was getting better and better. And Richmond's parents definitely made me feel way better about it because they're very optimistic about everything and, you know, joking and laughing. They seemed happy, so it made me feel better.
They lightened it up for other people.
Yeah, definitely.
How about you, Noah? What was that?
Like, it was just like, it didn't feel real at all. Like, it's just weird to see like that, like someone that like is normally like active and talking and stuff, and just like silent, nothing, and like it's just scary. It's crazy, yeah.
Let's just talk for a second about, there was a driver and he hadn't been drinking. Yeah. Everybody did what all your parents tell you to do.
Yeah.
And what advice do you give to people your age, a little younger, a little older?
So advice I give to them is get your sleep, because that's what, like, we were all asleep in the truck, and then my friend that was driving ended up falling asleep at the wheel. So it's just because we were all so tired because we had been up all night, and we was trying to make it to graduation practice, that's a whole different story. But.
If you have a designated driver, which is important to do, there should perhaps be someone that's, well, not perhaps, there should be someone that's awake with that person.
Yes, exactly. I agree 100%.
I've been driving for 30 years, and once you're tired behind the wheel, it is very hard to recover from.
Oh, yeah,
the only thing, real remedy for that is sleep.
Definitely. I definitely agree. It could have very well been prevented, but I mean, at this point, it happened, you know. I guess that's really all I can say is that, because I mean, it happened, and I'm in this halo right now, and I'm recovering, thankfully.
But people can learn from what you've been through.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully a bunch of people learn from it. I'm hoping.
What have you learned from it?
I mean, definitely just don't take everything for granted, you know, because like one day, you know, everything's fine. You don't have to have, you know, a halo on, you know, and have to deal with all that kind of stuff, exactly, you know, but then like the next day that could all happen, or it could be even worse, you know. So.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you go home tomorrow?
Gosh, if I could, I would definitely shower, but I can't because I have this halo on. But probably cut my nails. I can't lie, because it's being pretty gross. It's kind of gross. I can't lie. It's not looking too good.
And then maybe your cat in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, and then pet my cat. Oh, that's definitely the first thing I would do, pet my cat.
With the good news of Richmond returning home for the duration of his recovery, I talked with his family about what they've learned from this experience and how the community's support has influenced Richmond's healing. You received the news yesterday that you get to go home tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
I was talking with your doctor earlier, and he said it's about at least a week sooner than they thought. Because you've made such progress.
Good, yeah, that's good to know.
Well, he was talking also about the decision that went into choosing this facility. I know that Seattle was an option and a consideration, and everyone decided that you had what you needed here, but also family.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what we learned was that the physical therapy sections at the UW and all the other hospitals. They basically all teach the exact same program. And Dr. Edward had said that Richmond seemed like he was well, not so much smart enough, but was able to advance in the physical therapy, that he thought he could stay here locally and get the same amount of treatment as he would have at the University of Washington. So immunity has been incredible in the Wenatchee Valley.
It's part of healing, right?
Yeah,
For
it's
you
part
to
of healing.
have that
But
here.
there was a gentleman, a business owner in town, that contacted me and said, we're willing to pay for your stay in Seattle so that you can be with him every day.
Wow.
So
let's talk about the community. So when there's a medical catastrophe in the family, there's a decision to be made about who you tell, what you tell, how you tell it. I'm of the mind that sharing is a good thing, because I think when we share of ourselves, and storytelling gives strength to people, whether it's tragedy or a triumph. So you guys were very public. Facebook was your medium for sharing from the beginning. And what have you received back from that? 1,000-fold?
Oh, easily 1,000-fold. No, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure I speak also for them. Just the power to be able to continue every single day, just the love, the compassion that we've received from people we have no idea who they are. It's incredible. Incredible.
So for the two of you, and what have you gleaned from this? I mean, this is your brother and this is your partner, and she's watched you go through this. So what has it been like for the two of you?
I guess overall what I can really say is it just brought us closer in so many different aspects and of so many different things. And I know the love, when he was waking up and he still wasn't really responsive, and I asked him, do you know that it's Alisa here? And he kind of put up his little peace sign in the beginning. That was his yes communicator, and because it's important to me, it's important to him, and vice versa. It goes kind of in those ways, and it's been pretty amazing. There's no words, really.
It's incredible.
It is.
The love that this family has and the support from the community and everything, in which I have never seen somebody or a family as close as they are. This kid is incredible. He's strong.
When we were in the hospital, when the community and all of the students and all of the young people showed up, each one of them courteous and saying thank you and yes ma'am, yes sir, just things that you don't really realize. And for us, it made us so proud to know that those were the type of people that he either hangs out with or that care for him. Those people that you're talking about, that lives he's touched. It was so proud to know that that's the caliber of youth that's still out there, and that was there for him when he needed it most.
So I get choked up. I was driving here thinking about what we talk about, and I get choked up just thinking about you all home tomorrow, together under one roof, to get to do that. And your cat.
Oh yeah, especially of course your cat.
What's your cat's name? We need to mention.
His name's Phil.
Okay, Phil. We need to mention Phil.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. I can't lie. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna celebrate.
I'm very excited to see you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, getting you in there getting you out was like giving birth. Putting you back in there, putting you in there from the hospital was like putting the baby back in the womb. Are you ready? Go ahead. Watch your feet down there.
Home for the first time in 5 weeks, Richmond has settled into a new normal for himself and his family. He continues occupational, physical, and speech therapies, and is working on fully recovering his right hand and arm. On July 11th, Richmond was released from Confluence Hospital and finally reunited with his cat, Phil. We never know what challenges we will face in life, but Richmond, his family, and this community has helped teach us that going it together is always the way to go.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to NCWLIFE.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@NCWLIFE.com or call 888-2020.